It brings back one of the two famous Brecht's elegies I sing in the repertoire, the repeated chorus of which goes, "That is how I made use of the time on earth allotted me." The agent I required in London, the superb Maureen Vincent, once said to me, "Now, Robyn, you do seem to be one of those people who wants to do what they like." Yes, and it was almost inconceivable to me that anyone would either not want to do what they liked or would want to do what they didn't like. My lack of understanding at the time of what she was getting at makes perfect sense when I look at a wholly reactive career. I haven't had goals or ambition since I was a teenager. With no role models as a youngster, I had achieved everything I had ever aimed for. That interview at 15 that says all I want to do is travel and sing. By the time I was 16, I had achieved all that. In my last year of high school, I flew 4 times alone to Sydney to stay at the Chevron Hilton alone in King's Cross to record Bandstand. Since then, I've simply been opportunist in the sense that I would go with whatever excited me, any direction that seemed to be working at the time, followed my nose into territories where I had no guides. It was not a no-fear principle. I am scared most of the time because I have no training in anything that I do, except somewhere my honours degree in language and literature gives me some substance in reading and writing, though it was not a writing course. But I suppose I did have the courage to enter unknown and potentially dangerous waters, and that hasn't changed. What Maureen was getting at was that if you have a strategy, you can do things you may not necessarily like or favour now, but if they work for you, you'll make enough money and gain enough fame to indulge your personal tastes later on. She didn't actually spell that out. Maureen was the agent for many fine actors and performers, including Ruby Wax and French and Saunders. Clearly, she was on the money. I just wasn't interested. I wanted to sing what I wanted to sing. I didn't want to box myself into any easily marketable package. Brecht, feminism, comedy, musicals. We did, in London, talk to Andrew Lloyd Webber about one possibility, which I turned down. I was driven from inside, not out. This was the next project. This is what I would do from 15 years old, and the discovery of folk music and the political content of Dylan, Phil Oakes, Pete Seeger, etc. It started being not about what would make me famous. What I wanted from marketers was for them to find an audience for what I was doing. I had no desire to identify a market, target it, and give that market what it wanted. If that's all we ever did, how would the marketplace move forward? One of the most important concepts for me is curiosity. I've said this in other places, but it really was in the retrospective tracking of my father's slow descent into dementia that I realised the first sign was the decline of his sense of curiosity.